happen if it weren't for our founder, Carl Langley. Good old Carl, he's the gentleman there in the bow tie streets. Maybe if it wants to call up. Carl! There he is. Now, he moved to the United States in the 1880s and brought with him the American dream of one day founding his own business. He did just that with Universal Pictures in 1912, before venturing out a few years later to, well, the American Southwest, and in doing so, founded his own city, Universal City, on March 15, 1915. And we're still our own city. We have our own zip code, 91608, our own post office, our own fire station, which is this building here on the right-hand side. See if they have the doors open. Please, please, please. Yay! Fire trucks! Cool. I always wanted to be a firefighter when I was a little kid. Anybody else want to be a firefighter when they were little? Just me? Yeah, I had to give up that dream once I found out I was afraid of heights and fire. Yeah, it doesn't really work out very well. Now, not only do we have a fire station, we have a sheriff's station, medical facilities, daycare facilities, we have a gym I don't go to, we have 3 Starbucks, a coffee bean, plus a giant theme park. We're a full-fledged city, but we're missing something your town has. Residents. Yeah, no one lives here. Absolutely no one. Rather than having residents, though, we have thousands and thousands of movie and television professionals who come to work almost every single day. 2 of those professionals are Jabari Banks and Ollie Shalatin, stars of Bel Air on Peacock. They film a good portion of their show here in the front line inside a building called Sound Stages. Here they are to tell you a little bit more about their show.
Some of Bel Air's most pivotal scenes have been filmed right here. Alright, what have been your most memorable moments? There's so many to choose from. You know, I remember before your second, your first interest, and at that moment, his life changes forever. What about you? Well, the Khan Academy gym set is here too, and I remember you having to sit in that cold ice bath for hours. I can't feel my toes. Yeah, but seriously, my favorite part of this lot is the top to food, to the ball, to the hair, wardrobe, makeup, set design, props, and transportation. Yes, you know, transport's the best. And we got the smoothest rides for us to play with. Actually, speaking of, we're gonna get a ride like this. We better go check the transport now and let these people know that too. Yeah, that's all it's gonna be. As long as I get to drive. Oh, not if I've got the keys. Oh, my phone. Oh, man.
You can see all the episodes of Bel Air, both season 1 and 2, on Peacock, our streaming service. If you've never seen it before, you should definitely check out. It's a dramatic reinterpretation of The Fresh Prince. It is so fun. They filmed inside Soundstage 78, which we just passed, and over around the corner here in Soundstage 14. The whole reason why we choose to make our movies and television shows inside of Soundstages here in the lot is pretty much because we can do anything we want. Right? Build any type of set you can imagine, upwards of 4 stories tall in some of these buildings. You can wind it any which way, and most importantly, you're going to block out about 98% of the sound. So you film it there, you're only going to hear the actor's voice. You won't hear any other show filming around you or annoying tour guys talking all day long. You're just going to hear what you need to, usually what's in your script. A couple of my favorite movies of all time have been made on the inside of Stage 14 on the left. Back in 1982, a classic called The Thing with Kurt Russell was made in there. It's a super scary movie, takes place in the Arctic. So rather than go to the Arctic, they just pumped in a whole bunch of air conditioning and made it super cold in there. About 10 years after that, Steven Spielberg did the exact opposite and made it a tropical rainforest for Jurassic Park. You remember in Jurassic Park when little Timmy was stuck with the Jeep in the tree and started breaking the branches on the way down as they escaped? All of that scene was inside of Stage 14. So think about that. That takes place outside at night in the rain in a Costa Rica jungle, and none of that is real. That's how realistic they can make those movie sets. And it could be for a Universal movie like the one that we're talking about, or it could be a Disney movie, Warner Brothers, Sony, Paramount. You guys can make a movie out here. We rent them out to absolutely anybody. But there's a big rule. If you here on this train, make a movie over here, okay? You gotta wave and cheer at me when you drive by. I don't care what else to do. All right, just wave at me. Currently to the right-hand side, we're working on a few other shows you might recognize, like Killing It with Craig Robinson, Quantum Leap with Raymond Lee on NBC Films over here. The one that is yet to air on Peacock called Ted TV. Do y'all remember the movies Ted and Ted 2 with Seth MacFarlane and Mark Wahlberg, the Teddy Bear? Yeah. The television show is a prequel of the movies. It's set in the 1990s. So Mark Wahlberg's character is a young boy. He won't be returning and trying to play a 12-year-old, maybe strange. But Seth MacFarlane is coming back as producer and voice of Ted. He's standing over here on the left. He's also drinking the dirtiest looking martini I've ever seen in my life. That is disgusting. We got to get him a new drink. He's had the same thing for like years. Ted is standing in front of some pretty interesting buildings, though. These bungalows on the left-hand side used to be dressing rooms for Hollywood's biggest stars. People like Doris Day, Rock Hudson, Jimmy Stewart, Lucille Ball. That's because during their time as actors, they would sign a contract with just one studio at a time and only work for that studio for about 5 or 6 years. That's unheard of for an actor to have a contract like that these days. So these are now office spaces for some of the top writers, directors, and production companies in the business. Companies like Seven Bucks Productions. Left-hand side, that's Dwayne Johnson's production company, The Rock. Also out here is Illumination Entertainment. That's the animation house that brought us Despicable Me, Minions, Secret Life of Pets, the new Super Mario Brothers movie was done by them. There's a little alleyway that we're passing by right now where this golf cart is. All the way down at the end is Mark Platt Productions. They create musicals. He created Wicked on Broadway, one of the most successful shows of all time, and is turning Wicked into 2 movies for Universal Studios starring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. And a pretty famous office to our left, number 5195. That office once belonged to Alfred Hitchcock. Director of movies like Psycho, Rear Window, Vertigo, The Birds, among many others. He had that office for about 20 years, the latter part of his career. So there's a lot of history behind it, just simple buildings like that. Different kind of history is happening all over the place. I'm sure you noticed the construction going on in the front line. We're building more and expanding than we've pretty much ever seen. Just to put in perspective, in the last 7 years, we built more sound stages on the property than we built in the 7 years prior combined. Yeah, a lot going on. You're seeing some of the newer ones built back in 2016 on our left-hand side. Multiple things have been made in there. The Will and Grace revival, when they came back in 3 successful seasons. America's Got Talent is building in there as well, a few seasons back. This is also when they're currently working on a show called Lopez versus Lopez. That's George Lopez and his daughter, Maya Lopez. They have a sitcom on NBC working on season 2 right now. So that's going to be the last of the front line that we see in our tour. We're going to spend the rest of it here in the back line. This is where we film the big stuff, right? The large exterior scenes of our productions and the super large scale. First off, these metropolitan sets on the right. These can be any city in the world you want it to be, any period of time. And we have some pretty famous ones you might recognize. We'll start with Brownstone Street, which was, well, the home to Bruce Almighty. Yeah, I see Jim Carrey running down the steps there. That same street was featured as Old Chicago, The Sting, one of our best pictures. And that's also the same apartment you saw in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, with Macaulay Culkin. Remember when he goes into his uncle's place in New York City, throws the bricks off the roof, all right there? And like I said, you can change the time period if you want. You make it the past, or you can even go back to the future. Y'all, you're on the same exact road that the time traveling DeLorean got into 88, was struck by lightning and sent back to the future in 1985. Or 1955, depending on how you want to see it. Welcome to Courthouse Square, which was Hill Valley, Back to the Future Part 1 and 2 with Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. As Sharon takes us around the corner, take a look to the left. You'll see the City Hall, which was the clock tower in Back to the Future, although it does look very different. This is what it looked like in Back to the Future. Marty's standing in front of the original ones. Those columns are still there. Look through the front door. There's another building on the inside of the City Hall. We just put another wall in front of it so that way you don't recognize the clock tower and every other thing we make out here. This area was not built for Back to the Future. You saw in previous movies including Psycho 2, Gremlins, and the Gregory Peck classic To Kill a Mockingbird. The courthouse in To Kill a Mockingbird is the clock tower Back to the Future. Same exact building. The riot scene in Bruce Almighty happened right here. Clear as day, the clock tower with the clock taken off. That's why we changed it, right? If you know what you're looking for, you're going to see the clock tower pop up in literally decades and decades worth of movies and television shows. There was a television show called Ghost Whisperer with Jennifer Love Hewitt that actually made the big change to it because they were filming out here as the main town of Grandview. They don't want to see the clock tower in every episode, so they built a facade in front of it. That's all these buildings really are, just the fronts and the sides. No interior to about 90% of them. But sometimes you need the outside of a bigger city. Well, don't drive to New York, just drive across the street. Got it right here. Jimmy Fallon, though, he lives and works in the real New York City. That's where he does the Tonight Show, right? Let's give him a call, see what he's up to.
I got to start right here in New York on Saturday. Section by all nature. What's the fuck over there? What's my favorite hot dog guy? Hey, buddy. How's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Kind of like New York City. Yeah, it's cool, guys. I was just, just walking. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, they'll shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. You make it here, then you make it. Even if we make it here with Universal Metro.
That's right, you make it here, you make it anywhere. Thousands of movies, television shows, and everything in between have utilized our metropolitan sets. Class classics from The Sting to reality shows like American Ninja Warrior that set up their giant obstacle course up and down here will utilize these all of the time because not only are they facades and nobody lives or works in these buildings aren't made of real brick or stone. Yeah, it's all a fiberglass skin, so if they want to change it or destroy it, you could do that. A lot easier to film on our streets than the real ones. But y'all, we're going to leave the fake concrete jungle behind for a bit. We're going to travel to the prehistoric jungle of Skull Island. Here's director Peter Jackson to tell us about King Kong 360 3D.
That movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your normal life and sweep you up the edge. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you are encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
Oh yeah, we're in for an adventure, everyone. Please remain seated, keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle, and also no flash photography. It's just going to blind your neighbor, or worse, it'll blind Sharon. We don't want it. Welcome to the home of King Kong. Super expensive. You're going to need a little bit later on, though. That epic battle was produced by director Peter Jackson and the filmmaking team called Weta Digital, now known as Weta Effects. Over the years, they've won 7 Academy Awards for the work on movies like King Kong, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, James Cameron's Avatar, The Way of Water, and Disney's The Jungle Book somewhere in there. That attraction is projected on screens that are about 3 times as large as IMAX screens. All that technology and hard work from Weta Digital combines to bring King Kong to life like never before seen.
Studio tour, the audience is in the middle of they're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side. Open our movie, We always know people are looking straight ahead, they're looking at the shot that we're working on.
Clearly, you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we used to working on, there's no cuts. Because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving along through Skull Island with where the cameras come out. The screen represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We really created about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting it to the audience is a hell of a ride.
Some of you might have noticed, when we were in Skull Island, not only did we see some dinosaurs and King Kong swinging back and forth, we even saw a little bit of our own tram up on the screen. Remember the T-Rex bit into us? The moment we saw our tram, we were looking at a picture car. That's what we call every kind of vehicle in a movie or television show. Literally anything, a tram, a scooter, an airplane, it's all called a picture car. They can be entirely digital, CGI, computer-generated imagery like our tram was, where it's built inside of a computer program, or it can be a real drivable vehicle like some of the more famous ones we have over here on the left-hand side. We'll start with the yellow Deuce Coupe from American Graffiti with Harrison Ford and Ron Howard. Magnum PI's Ferrari is actually a Volkswagen built to look like a Ferrari. It's one of the stunt cars. They use real Ferraris, just not the ones that they would jump over ravines and stuff. My personal favorites are the ones from Back to the Future Part 2. That's when they travel to the very futuristic year of 2015. You can go to the past of the Flintstones with John Goodman and Rick Moranis. It's for everybody. Fly around with Harry and Ron, the picture car from Harry Potter. Roll around Jurassic World, the gyrosphere. It's not missing the glass bubble. That was all done digitally as well, so that way the reflections aren't just straight back at the camera. The Fry's Electronics band is from Jordan Peele's Nope, and the Crawdaddy boat right next to it is from his movie Us. And this tank-looking thing is a Bradley assault vehicle featured in Transformers. It is lean, mean, and made of wood. Yeah, it's mostly wood. Makes it a little bit easier to move a massive vehicle if you make it out of plastic or wood, something lightweight, and then just paint it to look real. And since that's wooden, you know that the director of Transformers, Michael Bay, blew that thing up like 14 different times. Right? Blow it up, put it back together, blow it up again and again and again. Real explosions and fire in movies are used all the time, right? They're called practical effects. They make your digital effects look that much more real. A practical effect is pretty much anything that's physically there on set and not a computer. My personal favorite type, animatronics. Right? Robots. So you can do some really cool stuff. One of the largest animatronics ever used was for a Universal movie that came out just over 30 years ago.
Welcome to Jurassic.
Yeah, the T-Rex in Jurassic Park was an over 30-foot-tall monster of an animatronic. 2 were used in the second, and an even larger animatronic was used for Jurassic Park 3 for the Spinosaurus. All 3 original Jurassic Park movies have a movie set pieces props to picture cars, which are on either side of our train. Those 2 animatronic T-Rexes ended up attacking this double RV-looking vehicle on the left. That's the Mobile Lab you saw in the Lost World Jurassic Park with Jeff Goldblum, Julianne Moore, and Vince Vaughn. Just like the Bradley assault vehicle, that too is made mostly out of wood, not only to make it easy to get to set, but easy to push off a cliff when the T-Rexes did such a thing. Oh, no, oh man, right in the mouth, gross. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, they're going after her too. Alright, well, looks like everyone gets attacked today. If you thought those are bad, good luck with the big one. Oh, it's building pressure. It's gonna go after part 2 then. Uh-oh. 3, 2, 1. It doesn't do anything. It just stands like... If the big guy shot water at you, it would come at you like one of those super soakers from the 90s. Remember those things? Had such high pressure it would like break the skin. What, were we nuts? When we were making Jurassic Park in the early 90s, we didn't just film here, right? We'll make movies all over the world. We call that on location. So a lot of Jurassic Park was made in Costa Rica and over in Hawaii. The issue was when we were in Hawaii, we had to shut down the movie for about 2 solid weeks because of big tropical storm ran through. Which is ironic because if you remember the movie, that's exactly what happens in Jurassic Park. But we're not going to film in a real one, even though there's one in our movie. We want to create the bad weather. It can be rain, sleet, snow, Sharknado. We're going to be able to do it much safer than the real conditions. Here in Old Mexico, we're going to show you exactly how we can turn a sunny day in Southern California into a rainy day in Mexico, just like that. Typically, you want your movie set to be super quiet, right? You want to hear your actors' lines and nothing else. Well, there's no actors out here, so we don't need to worry about that. We can also add sound effects like thunder right here to set. The lightning we see is a big strobe light, pretty easy to do. So today is going to be our light source for our ring. Now that we're in position, I have to activate the ring. Let's see if I can do it right this time.
Llegamos a la quinta.
Yeah, got it. Right. Now we get the ring, we use the super high-tech, sophisticated system called sprinklers. Well, as long as it's above the camera, it's pretty natural, right? But the camera's not going to see all the raindrops like we do. Like perfectly on the video. It's a little bit this deep, maybe 4 or 5 times too much water. But the more water you use, the more you have to physically drain, because it's not going to go into the ground. It's way too dry here in Southern California. That's why when it does rain, we have flash floods. All the water just kind of stays on top until it accumulates and rushes down to the ocean. Oh yeah, like that. Songs like Follow Us, and Judas by Lady Gaga. As we pull forward, you might recognize this part of Old Mexico as Mexico in Nacho Libre, starring Jack Black. This is actually the neighborhood that he lives in the movie. This is also the pirate city of Tortuga, Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. So a lot of your favorite movies are going to reuse the same exact corner of Universal, but hopefully you don't recognize it because we'll just change it anytime they come in. In fact, more movies have been made on these roads than any other spot, not just in the studio, but probably on Earth. Thousands and thousands of movies have been made here in 6 Points, Texas, our old Western sets. That's because they're also some of the oldest Western sets and over 100 years old. Most of those thousands of movies were silent movies because they've been filming all the streets at the same time, and those movies were also only like 11 minutes long. So we were able to make hundreds a year for the first 15 years of our existence. Since then, some of your favorite Western stars like John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Clint Eastwood have all made movies out here. Much more recently, you had Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio out here for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Quentin Tarantino. If you haven't seen the movie, I encourage you to check it out. It's so good. Anytime they're on the Western set, it's all right here. Just keep in mind, if you've never seen it, it is Quentin Tarantino. It is very, very rated R. Okay? Much more family-friendly movie you can watch the film down here called The Wild with Harrison Ford. In that movie, you see Buck the dog running through his hometown. This is his hometown. Now, y'all, we are, give or take, about halfway done with our studio tour. Just a reminder, if you need my assistant, that red emergency cord is hanging above your head. Give that thing a pull, I'll be back to help. Otherwise, please remain seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle. We're going to leave 6 Points, Texas behind, and we're going to go from old to new. And directly in front of us, across this body of water, we have some of the newest sound stages built in Universal Studios. These are around 4 years old now. That is where The Voice now films. The Voice is a hit vocal competition show on NBC. If you're a fan of The Voice and you haven't heard, we do have some familiar faces coming back. From last season, Niall Horan from One Direction is coming back as one of the coaches. From previous seasons, we have John Legend and Gwen Stefani coming back. But brand new for season 24, Reba McEntire. Reba, yeah, the country and television legend herself is going to be joining the coaching team. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm excited to see that's a very, very, I don't even know how to put it. It's an exciting group of characters that those small coaches are. There's even more sound stages all the way over on the other side of this road. We're not going to drive all the way back here, though. Just to put in perspective, if we were to go to those sound stages, we would be closer to the Warner Brothers front gate than our own. That shows not only how close Warner Brothers is, but how sprawling Universal is. We're 400 acres. A few shows that film back there include Hacks with Gene Smart, which is produced by Universal but airs on a Warner Brothers streaming service, Max. Same thing with Maya Rudolph's show Loop, produced by Universal but airs on Apple Plus. Television is weird and convoluted. Some of our shows don't air on networks, some of their shows air on our networks. It's all just a big mess. We are going to drive up this way, though. This is my personal favorite set here at Universal. This is called Little Europe. I love it because of the history attached to it. These are also quite old, dating back to the silent film era, but a 1930 movie called All Quiet on the Western Front filmed out here. We ended up winning our first Best Picture Oscar that year for that movie. The very following year, we invented an entire movie genre on these streets, the monster movie. This is where we did Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, The Invisible Man, The Original Mummy with Boris Karloff, all began right in here. But some of you might not recognize this from an old scary movie, but from a hilarious television show on NBC starring Ted Danson and Kristen Bell. Welcome to The Good Place in The Good Place.
Elliot Shakespeare. This location, the afterlife, I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. Here is going to that place.
Maybe it's not all bad.
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
All right, so I'm going to get real with y'all. I'm going to be very transparent. Here, bring it in, bring it in. So obviously I work for Universal Studios, right? Same company that makes Universal Television and Universal Movies. As a tour guide of Universal Studios, I am not mandated to pretend I like anything that Universal makes, okay? I might be lying to you and say I like something I don't like just to get you to watch it. So if I share an opinion, please understand that's coming from me and only me. The Good Place is one of the best shows I've ever seen and want you to watch it. Okay? It's one of my favorite shows of all time. It was created by Michael Schur, who also created Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He was a writer-producer for The Office, so if you like that kind of humor, you'll definitely enjoy The Good Place. But you can't watch it like most other shows where you can just watch one random episode and it doesn't really connect to anything before it. The Good Place was written as one solid story through all 4 seasons, so literally you have to start at the beginning. And it comes to an official end of the end of season 4. And it wasn't canceled. They literally finished it and refused to make any more. They said, no, we told the story we want to tell with this show. We're done. And it is phenomenal because of it. So I encourage you to check it out. It is available on pretty much every streaming service, including our own Peacock. All right, enough about that. Welcome to Denver Street. We have a lot of cars parked out here in storage. That's about it. No, I'm joking. It also has some of the oldest standing sets at Universal. Take a look at these old Western sets on the right. These are in their original location. While the other ones have been kind of picked up and moved around over the years, not these. You see how flat they are? Because when these were built over 100 years ago, you didn't really move your camera. You couldn't, really. You had a movie being made on either side of you, and behind the camera, you had audience. We were the only studio opened up to the public during the silent film era, and we had bleachers all around this area. Unfortunately, we had to get rid of that once sound was added to video in the 1920s, but we brought it back in 1964 when Lou Wasserman, the chairman of MCA Universal, debuted the first ever tram tour. And we've been doing studio tours ever since. We're almost 60 years doing this tram tour. Absolutely phenomenal. One of the biggest additions to the studio tour happened in the mid-70s, and it's still here, actually. That's where we're headed next. Welcome to Amity Island. You might remember Amity. Pretty well known for their boating and fishing community. The mayor is absolutely livid. He had to cancel his 4th of July celebration, all because of a little shark. Now, the shark is hanging up right there, but they've still left the beach closed for some reason. I know the guy in charge. It's my buddy George. He's a police officer. I gave him a call and see if he could open up the beach for us. Whoa. Never mind. It's a big shark. All right, don't go in the water. Where's George? Oh, he's in the water. George, I messed up. There's a shark in there. Oh, George. You okay? No, he's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's a professional. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, he's dead. All right, we're gonna park next to these gasoline barrels. This is the safest place in media according to the safety manual that I did read. Okay, we have bait attached to the yellow barrel, I know that. Ooh, it took the bait. Ooh, it took the whole dog. That's not good. Uh-oh. Oh! That's hot! That's too hot! It's like $6 a gallon, what a waste. Alright, I think we're supposed to wait here. Oh, okay, we're gonna go. We're gonna need a bigger drink. Congratulations, everybody. It's about to attack by Bruce for sure. Good old Bruce. Good old Bruce. I'm gonna hang out the window, don't tell my boss. Hi. I got a question for everyone on the tram. I don't care where you're seated, just yell out the answer, I'll hear it. What kind of shark is that? What is he? No? No, it's plastic. No, you're right, you're right. It's a plastic great white. Our plastic great white shark, though, works a lot better than the one that Steven Spielberg used when he was making Jaws back in 1974. Here he is talking about it.
Much maligned shark. The shark was frustrated. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all. Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the rainbows. They were always saying, "Shark is not working. We're eating the shark." We just waited around. We just waited. The shark worked well enough, while they're in the format. So I really owe the shark a lot.
The shark in Attack Us is named Bruce after his father, the original shark used in Jaws. You see there eating Steven Spielberg. He named his shark Bruce after his lawyer, Bruce Raymer, still his lawyer to this day. Keeping with tradition, there's one more great white shark in a movie named Bruce. Do y'all remember Disney Pixar's Finding Nemo? The great white of that one, fish all friends, not food, is named Bruce after the shark appearance. Just paying homage to the original. Steven Spielberg filmed the majority of Jaws on location in the Atlantic Ocean and the surrounding neighborhoods of Martha's Vineyard. Both are difficult, not just filming in the ocean, but let's say we're filming a television show and we rent your house, and that television show becomes very popular. Can we just rent your house for the next 8 years? No, we want to film in a much more sustainable environment, like a residential street here in the backlot. Pretty famous house here on the right-hand side is the Chicken Ranch, the best little whorehouse in Texas with Dolly Parton. Notice it is a full house. We call these practical sets. The only difference between this house and yours, this one has no plumbing. Because you're still never going to build it the camera never sees, which is why their neighbor is just one wall. You never go inside the neighbor's house, so why build it? One other street of residences we get to drive down today. This is called Colonial Street. This has been around for quite some time. You might recognize it by a few different names from a few different things. This was Mayfield Place or the Burbs with Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher. One of my favorites of the 90s, Casper the Friendly Ghost, and Christina Ricci filmed down here. This was Nellyville with Nelly and Kelly Rowland in the villa, the video. But it's most widely recognized as Wisteria Lane on ABC's Desperate Housewives. Practically every single episode filmed up and down this road. And they had a unique situation. Even though it was made by a different studio, they had complete control of this road and could do whatever they wanted, and no one else was allowed to film here. One of my personal favorite stories of Desperate Housewives is that Mrs. McCluskey's house, 1438 on the right-hand side, when they arrived to set one day, they found that about 3 of the 4 outside walls of that house had collapsed. So they wrote an episode of the story explaining why the house looked the way it did. So there's an episode of Desperate Housewives where a tornado comes to town and only hits her house. Everything else is perfectly fine. It allowed them to pretty much demolish it and rebuild it much stronger. For season 2, they demolished the facade of a colonial mansion where this fence is. It didn't look very good, and they built these 2 houses to replace it and extend the street. Those 2 were originally built with a full interior, and none of the houses had any interior at the time. We've since added more and more to each house, with the exception of the gray house on the right, which has no interior because there's a giant tree growing in the middle of the house, and it's difficult to film around. The yellow house on the right is where David lives in the Universal Netflix show Never Have I Ever. All 4 seasons, that's where her family lived. The Munsters live in the purple house on the right, and across the street from them, the light blue house, the Cleavers, and Leave It to Beaver. So literally, decades and decades of your favorite families have lived on the same street, sometimes even inside the same house. Now kids, I know I haven't said a lot that you would know, so this is for you. As we exit Colonial Street, the second house on the left-hand side, the dark green one with the front porch with a little orange trim. You know who lives there, kids? I'll wait to see everyone gets a view of it. That's Matlock's house. All right. Kids love Andy Griffith from the 80s and 90s. Even the adults should have no clue what I'm talking about. Here's the thing. Not all of your filming locations need to be a neighborhood or even a building. Let's say you're making a crime show and you find a dead body out in the woods. 1, it's probably not a dead body. It's definitely not a dead body. That would be weird. It's just some guy holding his breath. 2, it's probably not the woods. If you don't want to go in the middle of nowhere, go right here. Can you tell you're in a studio anymore? No, it looks like we're in the middle of nowhere. We call this Wilderness Road. And a lot of your favorite crime shows like CSI, SAS, Criminal Minds, they would film dozens of scenes out here while they run. This road was also featured in a Netflix original movie called Bird Box with Sandra Bullock. If you remember that one from a few years back, she's all blindfolded, walking days and days in the forest. No, she's not. She's 3 feet away from the road the entire time. They just don't turn the camera around because if they did, you would see Jaws Lake and Hogwarts Castle. It ruins the movie pretty quick. There's also a really cool episode of 911 on Fox where a limo gets caught in a mudslide in the Hollywood Hills. We don't want to film in the hills, so they did it here. The limo's real, so is the mud. They just toss down the hill a few dozen times. Now, y'all, we got about, give or take, 15-20 minutes left of our tour. Just a quick reminder, if you need my assistance, that red emergency code is hanging above your head. Give it a call exactly. As around the corner, we do have more picture cars. These are not labeled, so I'll point out a few. Green Mini Cooper belongs to Mr. Bean. The one that looks like Bumblebee is Bumblebee. Blockade, the Decepticon part right next to him. Excuse me. The tan one's a Duesenberg featuring The Monday Returns from the Academy Award winner Brendan Fraser. And skip the last one, that's a Plymouth Roadrunner featuring the Fast and Furious movies Tokyo Drift and Furious 7. If you've never seen a Fast and Furious movie, I know it can be overwhelming and there's 11 of them now. Just start from the very beginning with the idea that they race cars. That's all they do. And then they race cars and fight crime. And then they race cars, fight crime, and go to space. You know, you have to work up to it, right? If you just jump into it, it can be a lot. Now, speaking of a lot, this next, I'm still feeling a little uneasy. This car belongs to a lady named Marion Crane, and she was reported missing right after checking in here at the Bates Motel. Hold up. He's not supposed to be back here. I'm sorry, that's Norman Bates. He runs the motel, lives up in the house with his mom. He's not supposed to be back in town, so if he's back and she was reported missing, I have a really bad feeling. Yep, okay. Yeah, I don't think he knows we're here. Hey, Norman, you okay? I was told about a lady named Marion. Is that the lady in the shower curtain? That's a knife. Sharon's got a knife. Okay, yeah, he's getting close to the tram. He's getting very close to the tram. He is extremely close to the tram. He is uncomfortably close to the tram. Okay, we're good. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Woo. I didn't panic. You panic? Yeah, let's leave him alone. All right. What are you waving at him for? You want a room? So I'm not the last person, right? She's wrapped in a shower curtain, okay? Just leave him a good review. If you want to wave at anybody, though, wave at Mother. She lives here in the original Psycho house. You shall see in her second-story bedroom window. You ever wave, a smile, some chapstick, something? Ooh. And located behind the iconic Psycho house, just so happens to be one of the largest movie sets ever constructed. Welcome to the massive 747 crash site on Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise, Dakota Fanning, and Joseph Chatwin. That is a real 747 they used to make this set come to life. Here's production designer Rick Carter and director Steven Spielberg talking about the set.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision of Steven.
When we first began to sit down to talk about the War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep releasing me. Listen, now, man. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Got them closed? Robbie, get in.
And that's about all you see of this set in the movie. Less than 5 minutes. What Steven Spielberg knows is not how long you see something, it's what you see and how long it stays with you. So seeing something this devastating is going to be in the back of our mind for a lot longer than just what we see on the screen. Genius filmmaking. Now, we do have some road work happening in front of Jupiter's Plane. We're not going to drive through there today. I'll tell you a little bit more about that set because I want to take this time to point out that giant blue wall. This is in the area of the studio that almost, I don't want to say it was removed from the studio tour. It's so out of its own way, we usually don't get to talk about it. We're going to go behind it and back up the other side. But Falls Lake has one of the largest backdrops in the world. That big blue wall, that color blue and green are the only two colors that don't naturally appear in anyone's skin tone. So that's what we use for green screen. It is a misnomer. It can be green or blue. Pretty much what we'll do is we'll place an actor out in front of it and tell a computer everything that's blue, replace it with this picture, and you can put that actor in any sort of situation they want. The same exact thing that the weather person uses in the news. They're standing in front of one solid green screen and showing what their computer has. It has a basin in front of it. The basin can be filled with millions and millions of gallons of water. It's been there for quite some time. That's where Norman hid the cars in Psycho back in 1960. I guess spoiler alerts for a movie that came out 63 years ago. Was built in the 1980s. First movie to use it was Jaws the Revenge. For this one, they did not use it as a green screen, though. The clouds and sky you see behind the boat plane there, those are all hand-painted onto the wall. And the water was dyed a very, very bright blue to make it seem like the Caribbean, which was an issue for the blonde actors would go in there and come back out green. Since then, some of the biggest movies ever filmed at Universal have used Falls Lake. Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World, Hunger Games Catching Fire is where the cornucopia was. Apollo 13's touchdown sequence where Tom Hanks filmed out there. He came back out to the crash land sequence for Sully. Jim Carrey and Morgan Freeman walked on water of Bruce Almighty on Falls Lake. Jim Carrey almost sailed a sailboat out there in the 90s for The Truman Show. Christopher Nolan did Inception on Falls Lake. You remember where the van's falling backwards off of the bridge? They built the bridge in front of the wall and had it fall into the water. And then came back out more recently and filmed Dunkirk out here. All the rescue scenes and the sailboats coming to the Soldier's Aid in the middle of the English Channel, they did that out here as well. As Sharon passes forward, take a look. You'll notice that the basin can be filled about 10 to 15 feet all around. You don't need to fill it entirely if you don't want to. You just have a few inches or a few feet of water if that's what you need. But there's a section in the middle. You can see it blocked by those yellow pylons. That can dive to almost 40 feet deep. Yeah, so if you need to do a dive into the water, you have plenty of room and know you're not going to hit the bottom. At the end of the movie Bumblebee with Haley Steinfeld, when she jumps off the crane platform into the water to get Bumblebee, that's where they filmed that. Some music videos have filmed out here. TLC's Waterfalls filmed out here. Beyonce's Formation music video where she's standing on the cop car was done there. But I would say the biggest thing, and me personally, what I believe, was Top Gun Maverick with Tom Cruise. Yeah, his, biggest movie, at least until the next Mission Impossible comes out. He's always trying to one-up himself, right? But Top Gun Maverick filmed there as well. Now, typically, I don't get to talk about that because we do drive through Jupiter's plane. This is the actual set used in Jordan Peele's Nope, the sci-fi thriller he did with Universal last year. I encourage you to not only watch Nope, watch all three of his movies. Get Out, Us, and Nope. They're all original. They're all unique. They're different kinds of movies. They're terrifying. So be prepared. They're very intense. Speaking of intense and terrifying, they don't want me to tell you what's going on, but I think I'm going to tell you anyway. Because I don't trust you. I just don't want to lie. What do you think? Yeah, I'm going to tell them. We're being chased by somebody, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right? Apparently, there's a witness aboard our train being chased around by some crime syndicate led by a guy named Owen Shaw. The only reason why I know this is I was notified while we were in War of the Worlds by an Agent Hobbs of the Fast and Furious crew. You know which one he is? Big buff bald guy. That does not narrow it down. You'll figure it out. Anyway, he said in order to keep that witness safe, we can't just drive through the studio anymore. He's trying to go tram to tram trying to find it. We're just going to hide out in here. This is where the Fast and Furious crew kind of lays low. They're just going to look after us. So do me a favor. Remain seated. Hold on to your personal belongings. Don't drop anything now because I'm not going to be able to get out and grab it if we're going to be hiding out in here. And big thing, big. Please don't panic because if you panic, I start to cry. I fall apart. All right. So thank you so much for your patience. I know you didn't sign up to be chased around by a crime syndicate in a movie studio today, but it looks like it's just the way it is. And we're all in this together. Go wild, guys. All right. Thank you for the 3 people that understood that reference. All right. Well, this looks cool. Oh, big old tow truck looking thing. Big old armor truck up front. Yeah, we're in good hands. We're in good hands. All right. There's no one in here, though, so I guess we just sit around and wait and see what happens.
They just got here. Listen, hello, beautiful people, particularly you. It's third row. How you doing? You good? My name is Roman Pierce. Nice to meet you. Buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you short for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over. It's a little messy, but it's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in the third row. Like I was saying. So look, see over there? It's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. This truck is going to make it wild. Then we're going back over there. Me and my man Ted. Think of it as like Mona Lisa.
One
gets broken up by the FBI. It's the most annoying thing.
This is what we're doing. This is the race day after party. And where the other?
Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move.
Damn.
That's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not.
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Escort this novice out.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate. Shaw traced us. Ops can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle. It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door. Roman truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
They're going to keep us safe, but the best thing for us to do, I want you to put on your 3D glasses. Use those as some makeshift eye protection. And also, no more blended in. If the bad guy shows up now, we're putting the pedal to metal and getting out of here. Sounds like they're already in the parking garage, so remain seated for the last time. Definitely have your 3D glasses on. Things might get pretty fast pretty quick.
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you won't get fried!
This is our turn.
After there!
Okay, guys, it's showtime.
I got the bull by the horn! You give me the witness to I got company! The witness is mine, Letty!
How about you eat asphalt?
Don't think you're getting away! Put in the
Where to go, Letty?
Don't find another missile shot!
Not gonna happen. Don't worry, I got this.
Roman, don't shoot! Head for the bridge! Under construction! Everybody hold on!
Ride or die.
That was one of the most epic chases of all time. Zach Bass and Gary so white. That's not the thing. That was good. Y'all can go ahead and take off your training glasses. Let's take off the
Now, my Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it. They said the Kennedy family is strong with it is. You know, I'm welcome to join our crew anytime.
All right, part of the crew, the family. That is Fast and Furious Supercharged, the grand finale of our studio tour. We're going to get you all back to the theme park here momentarily, but thanks so much for coming out to the studio tour this afternoon. Absolute pleasure sharing it all with you. That's also Special thanks to our annual pass holders on board. I know we have a few. We got some familiar faces here in the tram. If you'd like to become an annual pass holder like them, it's very easy. You just want to take today's ticket up to the Universal box office located in the center of the park. They'll show you how to change your ticket into an annual pass so you too can come back again and again. Also, if you haven't already, I encourage you to download the official Universal Studios Hollywood app to your phone. It's going to help you out a lot for the rest of your day. It confirms that we're open until 10 p.m., gives you all the showtimes for Waterworld, wait times for the ride to attractions, and much more detailed information on Super Nintendo World. If you have any questions, concerns, or just want to come over and say hello, I'll be available once we come off the train. Once again, my name is Tim. I'll be the goof looking out with the mustache waving at you. On behalf of our driver Sharon, myself, and everyone here at NBC Universal, thank you so much for coming to Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. Well, hopefully you learned something, that you didn't have movies ruined for you. You know, you just hopefully have a new appreciation of all the hard work that happens behind the scenes. And hopefully you had a good time and had fun. I definitely did. I gotta tell you, of the thousands and thousands of studio tours I've done over the years, this one right now with you all was the most recent.